My literal kidnapper was standing right in my own kitchen, calmly cooking dinner for my husband, and I knew I had exactly 60 seconds to run before he butchered us both. If you think your home is the one place where you are completely safe from the monsters of your past, wait until you find out who your spouse is actually bringing through the front door. The air inside our house in Seattle, Washington, smelled of garlic, boiling pasta, and the sharp, freezing sting of pure terror. I walked in from work, expecting a quiet night, when my husband David beamed at me and announced that his amazing new best friend from work was making us dinner. A man stepped out from behind the counter, and my blood instantly turned to absolute ice. My heart hammered so violently against my ribs that my ears began to ring with a deafening panic. It was him, the exact same face that had haunted every single one of my nightmares for 3 agonizing years. David introduced him as Liam, smiling warmly, while Liam gave me a calm, friendly nod that made my legs completely buckle beneath me. He had found me. 3 years ago, when I was a 19-year-old college freshman, this psycho snatched me off the street, locked me in a soundproof basement for 4 months, and tortured me until I barely escaped barefoot through the woods. The police never found him, and even though I changed my name and moved across the country, he sent a letter to my hospital room promising he would find me and pick up right where we left off. And now he was standing in my home. Desperate to escape, I lied to David, claiming I forgot my water bottle in the car and needed to grab it. David smiled, telling me to relax after my long day, and immediately stepped outside into the dark to get it for me before I could stop him. I tried to follow, but I froze in horror as Liam instantly stepped around the corner, his eyes cold and dead. Before I could scream, Liam slammed the heavy wooden front door shut and locked the deadbolt, trapping me inside. He backed me violently against the wall, his hand gripping my jaw so hard I felt like I was going to throw up, whispering that he had been stalking me for 6 months, intentionally befriending my husband just to get to tonight. I thrashed against him, gasping that David was right outside, but Liam just scoffed, squeezing my throat until I couldn't breathe, mocking me that my husband thought he was the greatest guy alive. Pure survival instinct took over, and I bit his hand as hard as I could, tearing flesh until he flinched, allowing me to let out a blood-curdling shriek for help. David heard it. He aggressively pounded on the locked door, then sprinted around to the side window, his face twisting into absolute shock as he saw Liam pinning me against the wall with his hand crushed around my throat. Something inside David completely snapped. He grabbed a heavy metal patio chair and hurled it straight through the glass. Shards exploded everywhere, slicing his arms until blood ran down to his elbows, but he didn't even flinch. David lunged through the shattered frame, using his 6'4" jiu-jitsu black belt training to tackle Liam onto the floor, pinning him down before brutally bashing a heavy desk lamp into Liam's skull until the psycho went completely limp. David dropped the weapon, pulled my sobbing, trembling body into his chest, and dialed 911 with blood still dripping from his hands. The police dragged Liam away in handcuffs, and by the next morning, our hallway security cameras cleared David of any wrongdoing. As we sat at the kitchen table under the pale morning light, I bandaged David's deeply sliced arms and finally confessed the entire horrifying truth about my past. He listened in absolute silence, holding me tight, completely processing the madness. But the true, sickening twist came an hour later when the detectives called us from the station. They had searched Liam's car and found a hidden camera feed directly linked to David's phone, revealing that my husband hadn't met Liam by accident at all. David had been secretly researching my past for a year, tracking my kidnapper down online, and had intentionally lured the monster into our home under the guise of friendship just so he could execute him legally in self-defense and end my nightmare forever. If you found out your spouse orchestrated a deadly trap to eliminate the person who traumatized you, would you be terrified of their darkness, or would you love them even more for protecting you?